What would you do if the future you'd built with your own hands was stolen by the people you trusted most? For me, Lily Carter, that question wasn't hypothetical. It was the jagged edge of my reality, carved deep by betrayal and polished by time's relentless grind. At 22, I stood on the cusp of my college graduation, a moment that should have sparkled with promise. Instead, it was shadowed by a secret that had festered for years, a secret my parents thought they'd buried forever. I was 16 when my dad remarried. My mom had passed years earlier, leaving behind a college fund she'd started for me. $850,000, built from her life insurance and her relentless frugality. She'd always said it was my ticket to freedom, to a life where I could chase my dreams without chains. Dad promised to guard it. But when Sandra, my stepmom, and her daughter, Mia, entered our lives, things changed. Mia was a year older, all charm and calculated sweetness, with a knack for getting what she wanted. I didn't mind her at first. She was fun, like an older sister I'd never had. But cracks formed fast. By 18, I noticed the fun dwindling. Dad brushed it off investments, he said, or market fluctuations. I believed him because I wanted to. I was a kid, after all, trusting the adults who were supposed to have my back. But the truth clawed its way out when I applied for college. The fund was nearly gone, not from bad investments, but because Dad and Sandra had siphoned it to pay for Mia's private university, her study abroad in Paris, her car, her everything. They'd given her my future, piece by glittering piece, while I scrambled for scholarships and part-time jobs to afford a state school. The betrayal cut deeper than I can describe. It wasn't just money, it was my mom's love, her sacrifice, turned to dust. I confronted Dad, tears burning my eyes, but he stammered excuses. Mia needed it more, she had potential, and I'd figure it out. Sandra just smirked, as if my pain was a minor inconvenience. I could have screamed, could have raged, but I didn't. I packed my hurt into a box inside my heart and locked it tight. I'd show them. I'd make my own way. College was brutal. I worked nights at a diner, studied until dawn, and clawed my way to a 4.0 GPA. Every scholarship I won, every paper I aced, was a brick in the life I was building without their help. Mia, meanwhile, flitted through her elite school, posting about her blessed life on social media. I didn't hate her, not really. She was a pawn in their game, too. But when she'd visit, flaunting her designer bags or her stress over picking a grad school, the box in my heart rattled. Graduation day arrived, a bright May morning that felt like it could hold every possibility. I stood in my cap and gown, my hands trembling as I clutched my diploma. I'd been named valedictorian, a title I'd earned through sleepless nights and sheer will. My speech was supposed to be about resilience, about rising above. But as I stepped to the podium, something shifted. The box in my heart cracked open. I looked out at the crowd, me, Dad, Sandra, Mia, all sitting in the front row, smiling like they'd earned this moment. And I decided, they didn't get to rewrite my story. 4 years ago, I began, my voice steady but electric. I learned a lesson about trust. My mother left me a college fund $850,000 to chase my dreams. But it was taken, given to someone else, while I worked nights to be here today. The crowd gasped. My dad's face went white. Sandra's smile froze. Mia looked down, her hands twisting in her lap. I didn't name them. I didn't need to. The truth hung in the air, sharp and undeniable. I spoke of my mom, her love, her sacrifice. I spoke of the diner, the scholarships, the nights I wanted to quit but didn't. And I spoke of forgiveness, not for them, but for me, so I could move forward unburdened. The crowd was silent, then erupted in applause. Strangers hugged me after, whispering their own stories of betrayal and triumph. My dad tried to approach, but I turned away. This wasn't about them anymore. Mia found me later, tears in her eyes. She hadn't known the full story, she said. She'd thought the money was her mom's. She apologized, raw and real, and for the first time, I saw her as separate from their choices. We talked, not as sisters, but as two people trying to understand. I don't know if we'll ever be close, but that moment felt like a start. As I walked across campus one last time, diploma in hand, I felt my mom's presence. The money was gone, but her love wasn't. I'd built something better than a funda life, forged from grit and truth. And in that moment, With the sun warm on my face and my future wide open, I knew karma doesn't always punish. Sometimes it simply reveals.